Are you getting ready to take some time off? Fantastic! If you're not, you probably should be. Either way, today I'm talking you through a few things to help you prepare for taking vacation time so that you can relax, reset, and recharge in order to come back and be ready to take on the world. So get comfortable and let's talk about better mental health. Hello and welcome. I'm Jeremy Godwin and I talk about better mental health every week here on YouTube and in my podcast, Let's Talk About Mental Health. So today I'm talking about tips to help you prepare for taking a proper vacation. You'll notice that I said proper there, and what I mean by that is actually taking a vacation, not just physically removing yourself from the office, but still working the entire time. We all need some time off. I'm about to take some time off when this video goes out. I'm getting ready to take 2 weeks off over the Christmas and New Year's period, 2021 into 2022, and I'm looking forward to it. I have no plans to go anywhere. I just plan to put my feet up and binge watch one of the 400 different versions of Drag Race that's available so that I can just recharge my batteries after what's been a really, really hectic year. And so somehow along the way, whether you work for yourself like I do, or you work in corporate or whatever the environment is, somewhere along the way over the last 20, 30, 40 years, this ridiculous idea has come into play where we're expected to be on 24/7. And that includes our holiday time or vacation time, whatever it's called in your country. So here's the thing, you are entitled to a set number of days off, and that means days off. That doesn't mean days away and still working. That doesn't mean days where you get to spend 20 minutes with your family and 40 minutes on a phone call. That means actual time off. And so you are more than entitled to put in place practices that look after your well-being and ensure that you can take that time off without having to be drawn back into work. There's a few quick things that you can do that will help you to set that up. And let's start with talk with your boss. So this means actually sitting down and having a proper, honest conversation about what your expectations are and what theirs are. This is also a time for you to stop and think about something. If your boss expects that you can take time, but you must be contactable the entire time, you need to do some thinking about that, because either A, you have a terrible boss, or B, you work for a terrible company, or C, you have a terrible job that is reporting to a terrible boss at a terrible company. The idea of you needing to be contactable over your holidays is not fair, and just because it is something that other people do, that doesn't mean that you have to do it. So this is about going and having an assertive conversation with your manager to say, look, I'm going to take some holidays and I need to actually switch off and unwind for that 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever it is. How do we work together to put in place arrangements so that that can happen, so that I can be completely uncontactable for that period of time? And that leads to my second point, which is make a plan and check it twice. Because if you're going to take time off, whether it's 4 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever it is, you need to have a plan in place in terms of getting everything done before you go, and also making sure that your regular commitments are covered while you're actually away. So spend a little bit of time having a plan. You may also find it worthwhile to do that exercise before you go and talk with your boss. It does depend on what your manager is like. Some managers are really reasonable and supportive, and I would hope that most managers are. Some of them, you need to be prepared for any objections with this is how I'm going to make sure that it's covered while I'm away. And then the third point is to do the work that needs to be finished. So this is very much about putting in time in your diary in the lead up to your leave to make sure that you get the things done that need to be done. Look, everyone manages their time differently. For me personally, if it's not in my diary, it doesn't get done. So block out chunks of time that you can actually get the work done. Otherwise, you'll be trying to get it done 3 hours before you actually go away on leave. The other thing I will say here as well is that it is okay to say no to new things that are coming your way. And in fact, I just talked about saying no in episode 105 of the podcast, and I also covered it in this video here. So I'll link to both of those in the description below. But you know, it's completely fine to say no to additional work if you have a set lot of stuff. I would, though, encourage you to bear in mind that you need to create some time in your plan for the stuff that you can never plan for. There are always things that happen on a particular day. You know, the system goes down and things get thrown out of order and into chaos. You get an urgent phone call from a client with something that needs to be dealt with immediately. Think about how you can factor in time for that stuff, but it is okay to say no to taking on new additional responsibilities on top of those types of things. My next point is ditch the non-critical stuff. I don't know about you, but I know that I've got heaps of stuff sitting on my to-do list that is a nice to have, that is non-critical, non-urgent, and is really should be off my to-do list and should be on my someday list or in an inspiration or ideas folder. So as part of this planning exercise, really take the time to rip through your to-do list, rip through your emails, and get rid of the stuff that just does not matter. And then my next point is turn on your out of office and turn off your phone and computer. This is really obvious, but I'm going to say it anyway. Your out of office should be really clear. The message should say, I am on leave. I will not be responding to messages throughout this period. Urgent matters can be referred to this person. Otherwise, I will respond to your message when I return. And then beyond that, when you're actually away on leave, please do not check your emails. Please don't pick up your voicemails. Because what you're doing, first of all, is you are tearing yourself out of relaxation and recharging mode. But second of all, you are sending a message that says, hey, I am completely fine with you bombarding me with work while I'm supposed to be on leave. And that actually has a ripple effect, because not only does it affect you individually, it also role models that behavior to other people and creates peer pressure. So please lead by example. And if you are going on leave for a week or 2 weeks, do what I'm doing over the Christmas and New Year's period. Put an out of office on that clearly says I will not be responding to messages until I return. And I would encourage you as well that for your first day or two back, keep your schedule as clear as possible so that you've got time to clean out your emails, respond to messages that need responding to, and also catch up on the things that have happened while you've been away. And a bonus tip here, which is my personal favorite, and I still do this even though I no longer work in corporate, I work for myself. If at all possible, when you take leave, come back to work on either a Wednesday or a Thursday if you work Monday to Friday. The reason why I say that is that when you come back to work at the beginning of the week and you have a full week ahead of you, it's really hard to keep the momentum going, and you're almost expected just to slot straight back in. If you come back midweek, you give yourself time to ease back into your work, and it does tend to also psychologically make it a lot easier to readjust to those circumstances. So I hope these tips were helpful. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and if you made it all the way to the end of this video, leave me a sunglasses face emoji, because, well, that makes me think about being on leave, even though I know it's winter in the Northern Hemisphere, but leave me that emoji. Catch my podcast, Let's Talk About Mental Health, every Sunday for more ways to improve your mental health and well-being, and join me here for new Better Mental Health videos every Wednesday. Click here to subscribe to my channel for more weekly videos, and watch this video next for more advice on how to improve your mental health. Thanks so much for joining me today. Take care and talk to you next time.